Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Legacy Loading. And today we're going to be talking about John Madden football. And joining me is my friend, Mr. Sophomore John. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing wonderful now that I'm getting to hang out with you, my friend. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. I'm glad that you picked this topic because football season is officially back. Training camps have opened. We've already had our first preseason game with the Hall of Fame game between the Lions and the Chargers. And now we're getting close to Madden also being released later this month as well. And yeah, can't wait to sit down and watch this. John Madden football, or Madden as it is called now, is a very iconic sports franchise. Definitely been at the heart of many things. Everyone kind of looks forward to like the Madden covers, and I want to say if anyone is like a sports fan in general, if like you're a fan of football, you've definitely have picked up a few Maddens in your life, to say the very least. So I guess I'll start off with here, John. It's like, do you have a favorite football team?
So I do. I'm not a huge like football guy, but I latched on to the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
Because Dan Marino. I think I saw him in an interview somewhere when I was a kid, and I was like, I like this guy. He's smart. He's thoughtful. And he had that aura of just being a genuinely good person. So I was like, I like that guy. So whoever he's playing for, I'm all for. So I just kind of became a Dolphins fan, and funnily enough, and I didn't know this when I chose the team and when I was a kid, was that my dad is actually a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, so it it's made for some some great back and forth over the years between the two of us.
Well, at least you can honestly say that you've never seen any of those teams win a Super Bowl in your life. So there you go.
Well, you know what? That's basically almost all my sports teams, but yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, just Dan Marino, very great quarterback, Hall of Famer. Just don't look at how he went out because that is pretty sad.
That was a bummer. That last season, that was. I remember that. I was very. The problem was they could just never get him a running back. They had the passing game, they had the defense, they had a great offensive line, but they, for the life of them, I don't know what it was, but they had a great coach too, in Don Shula. They could just never get it together and get a good running back. I don't know what they were thinking growing. I'm like, that's all you need. But that was also back in the day when running backs were far more important in the game compared to today's game, where I think Marino would probably have a couple of rings.
Yeah, he might.
If
He was a gunslinger before the term gunslinger really was a thing. You know.
Man, he had a rocket of an arm. Like he was so, and that draft class that he was in was insane. He was the fifth quarterback taken in his draft class. All the way back to I think he was picked like number 26th or 27th.
Yeah, he was basically just a fall into the lap of the Dolphins. And the funny thing about it too was because he's from Pitt, that's where he played college. A lot of people
Mhm.
thought that he was going to go to the Steelers.
It would have made sense, but they had Bradshaw at the time, and then Bradshaw got hurt.
They didn't have Bradshaw at the time. This was
Oh,
a
not
little
Bradshaw.
bit later.
Who was it? I don't. I do remember he didn't get drafted because he had such a fall off his senior year,
Mm-hmm.
and they all thought he was on drugs. And I'm like, that is not a dude that looks like he's on drugs.
No, and on top of that too, I remember watching it because I think it was the Rooneys. They're the guys who own the Steelers, and
Right.
I think it was the late Rooney, his dad. That was his biggest regret was not drafting Dan Marino. They drafted some defensive tackles who, unfortunately, I think got into a motorcycle accident, and he never played properly after that, or he never played again after that. And it was
that pick didn't last very long.
it was one of those like cold day in hell kind of things where he's like on his deathbed. He's like, you should have drafted Marino. He just never
Yeah.
let it go.
God, can you imagine Marino with Pittsburgh? Jeez.
Oh yes, especially during the '90s. Yeah, I
Oh,
could. It would have been insane.
that would have been a nasty team.
Yeah, and the sad part is Marino got to one Super Bowl, and then after that, everyone was like, "Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back," and he never came back.
Never was.
Yeah, but it did make for a very funny line in Little Nicky, which I still love to this day.
Yeah. Well, and he got a lot of love too from Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah.
That got him a nice little resurgence, but yeah, and then he did just like all the football guys do. They did like the tough acting, acting commercials.
I think that's what a lot of people my generation remember Madden for the most is those sick day commercials when you're watching like the People's Court or something. And then it's like, hey, I'm John Madden. Here you go. Tough active to inactive. You know?
John Madden would sell anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he would sell anything, but he was also like he had what's the word I'm looking for? Like it had to be up to a quality of his level of his liking. He was like he'll sell anything, but he's got to like it. He's got to believe in it too at the same time. But Madden was a fantastic self promoter.
Yeah.
Not just on the field, right, as a coach, but also off the field as well. And
Well,
I loved that he never flew. He drove everywhere.
yeah, he was afraid of flying. I was just gonna about to bring that up.
Yeah. So it's like he was always hanging out with people. At least that's what I would imagine. You know, he was way more accessible than most people of his stature.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, no, that's really fun. Like I said, football is great. Um, I love the sport very much. I'm a Bears and a Broncos fan. For anyone who was wondering, kind of like John here. I grew up in a house in northern Illinois, right by Chicago. Every one of my family members are Bears fans, including myself. But when I was growing up, the Broncos were the team I used to watch win the Super Bowl. John Elway was my favorite football player. Uh, so
What a great quarterback too.
another great quarterback. Loved him so much. Got to see him go out on top. That's all that really matters to me. But my family are also season ticket holders for the Chicago Bears, so I do love going down to Soldier Field every weekend that I can during football season, having the fun tailgates and everything else like that. For me, one of my fondest memories was a Thursday night football game, and I don't I think I was either a junior or a senior in high school, and we went for a December Thursday night football game against the New Orleans Saints, and it
Mhm.
was -40 with wind chill.
No, that's a warm day.
Yeah, incredibly warm. Let me tell you.
That's
And
Midwest summer, right?
it's Midwest something.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I
You,
we used
oh, go
we
ahead. So,
we had like the giant tents out with putting up this construction, and you're right by the lakefront, so it's terrible out. And we got the propane heaters all fired up and going and everything. And I think we were out there from noon until like about like 6 p.m. And then everyone walked in to get ready for the Thursday night game, and that was the worst walk of my life. I will tell you this right now, like even like how they like shuttled you around because Soldier Field is ran by the city of Chicago,
hmm
so they'll get school buses to drive you from like where you're tailgating to like where you're going.
hmm
But even still, you got to wait in line and everything else for your school bus and that. But luckily, we were outside of the wind chill. But let me tell you something. Once halftime hit, half of the stadium completely gone. They were all inside getting warmed up.
Wow,
But no,
that's incredible.
I've seen a lot of really great games. I've seen a lot of really bad games in my life. But yeah, I absolutely do love this sport. It's like the only thing that really gets me riled up. Play fantasy football, go to games, training camps, you name it. I love this sport. It's been one of my favorite things in the world, and it also kind of was like a big combination thing here too with video games and sports as you know it. This is a video game
Mhm.
focused channel, so I have a lot of good Madden memories. John, how about you? Do you have any good memories you'd like to share about sports before we go over to just Madden in general?
Well, so first off, believe it or not, I've never actually been to a football game in my life.
Oh wow.
Yeah, crazily enough, I've never been. My stepdad uh, wanted to take me to go see the Dolphins, but I said that if he took me, I was going to wear my Merino jersey,
Yeah.
and he said no, and I said okay then, and he didn't. And so he didn't take me to a football game, but I mean. At the same time, it was when Oakland had gone back from Los Angeles and they moved back, so it was the Raiders. So I think he was more worried about me getting killed
Yeah.
or him getting killed. I don't know. But I mean, as far as like favorite sports memory, um, well, let's see. So I went to a ton of baseball games growing up as a kid. So I was real close. I mean, I lived in Northern California, so I got to go to A's games and I got to go to Giants games for baseball. And the A's were terrible whenever I went, so I got to see like Cal Ripken Jr. Like I got to see some great baseball players.
Hmm.
I got to see the opening day '97 Giants, and they played the Florida Marlins, which is my baseball team, and they ended up winning the World Series that year. So that was cool that I got to see that, the start of the season there. I actually saw the Arizona Diamondbacks' first franchise win ever.
Oh, cool.
Back when it was in Arizona, back when it was called Bank One Ballpark. So I have some memories like that. During a trip to Arizona when I was a kid, they have a winter league. So it starts around Thanksgiving time into December, and it basically there's like 8 teams, and each team has 3 or 4 different teams that they send rookies and single A, low double A players to for just some workouts during the wintertime. And because everyone was in school, I got to be the bat boy for 2 home games in a row for the Scottsdale Scorpions. So that was a pretty epic childhood memory to be a bat boy for a real. I mean, it's not a major league game, but still, these were minor league players working their way up to the pros. And then my last one would probably be getting to see my Sacramento Kings play. Was that NBA shortened season, the lockout in the mid '90s, and the Sacramento Kings snuck into the playoffs, and I got to see them win and play in their first playoff game in Sacramento since the team had moved there, and I got to see like Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. They were playing the Sonics that year, who I think would end up going to the championship against the Bulls and losing, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so going to see Kings games, and I got to see some of the best NBA players ever. So yeah, I have sports memories. I just never got to go to a football game ever.
Yeah, they are something else for sure. It's just like any sport event. It's like you got to get out there and you just got to like go at least one time or something, you know? I would say that the only problem with football is it's never fun to watch like the old players, you know? Like it's very
Mm-hmm.
rare in football to see like players go on a farewell tour. Like it's not the same like baseball or hockey, you know, where it's just like
Or
these are the
basketball.
players. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
eh, well, in basketball too, I would say they kind of fizzle out more. You know, it's like you don't
The
like
the big ones do farewell tours, but
it's very rare. It's not like
yeah.
it's kind of like Tom Brady and Kobe. You know, it's like it's very
Yeah.
rare to get like the farewell tour for in like those sports because usually it's like it's Shaquille O'Neal on the Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? It's like or the
Right.
Cavaliers. That's what I mean. Shaquille on the Cavs or something like that.
That
Where
was
you
so weird.
yeah
That's still so weird. And on the Phoenix Suns at one point, I think, if I
yeah.
remember correct. It's so weird.
That's like what the farewell tour is in a lot of those sports. It's like, oh well, you know, you're going to see like Orlando Pace for the play on the Chicago Bears, and that's it. You know, this guy's a future Hall of Famer, but you know,
Right.
we're not here really to see him, you know, play. It's like he's going to be there. He's just there to hold a spot. But like, you know, like for hockey and baseball, it's like, you know, you go see like someone like Jeremy Roenick on the Sharks, and it's like, well, we got to see Roenick before he retired. You know, he's still out
Right.
there. He's not playing top minutes, but it's like he's still playing quality minutes or something like that.
Hmm.
It's like something like that. It's a lot harder for football in that, and
I think where the farewell tours. It's like in the NBA. I think the last one that I remember that was of any importance was probably Vince Carter. And then but before that, it was probably Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. And so I agree with you. I think especially hockey. I think hockey is a big one for the farewell tours, and then baseball. I think those are like the two where it makes sense because, like in baseball, you're playing 162 games. You're playing 3-4 game series. You can roll dude out into a wheelchair for one game, and not play him the whole year.
Yeah.
And then hockey's just it's a man's sport, so you tough it out through the whole year.
So I guess before we get started on this thing, do you have any memories of Madden, like at all, like the video game that is, not John Madden proper?
You mean memories of the Madden game?
Yeah, any fun memories, like did you ever play the video game? Did you play with your friends or anything like that?
The first time I played Madden was Joe Montana Football on the Sega Genesis, which was made by the Madden guys. It was the dumbed down version of that. I would say I played football more in like the PS1 era.
Yeah.
Not a Madden game didn't particularly stick out to me as like being a favorite. I just, I had some. And then over the years, they just got so overly complicated to play that I haven't touched a Madden in a long time. To be terribly honest with you. However, I think the story of Electronic Arts, and that that's a whole different bag of tricks, but the story of the Electronics Arts guys and how they, got convinced Madden to let him use his name and make a game, and like all that whole story of how Madden came together is absolutely fascinating. Because it was years, and I haven't seen this video. I made sure not to watch it, so I don't know how in depth, but I know the story, and so I love this story. I think it's a great story of a bunch of people who love what they're doing and love football, and they want to go home and play football because they're like me, they can't. But I never really had friends that played sports. I was a very weird kid. I played punk rock music in bands, right? And most of the people I hung out with were metalheads and punk rockers and goth people and stuff. So none of them liked sports. But I grew up with sports as being something that was always very important. And so I would mostly play my sports games by myself. I didn't have anybody to play with, to be honest. So,
alrighty, no problem.
I'm sorry I don't. I'm sorry I'm not as super exciting when it comes to that. But
no worries. All right, then let's get started watching this documentary about John Madden football. Another episode of Icons, G4 Icons. As you can see, episode 16. So let's get started, shall we?
Hi everyone, welcome to John Madden Football.
It all began with one man.
If it had been anybody other than Tripp working on it, it would have been killed. But it was really his baby.
And impressing the name of the game was more than tough.
He already thought we were dweebs, and he looked at it and he went, "Where's all the guys?"
Some of this I can't say for family consumption, but he said, "That's not an effing goal line play, that is," and we were like, oh no.
Times weren't always filled with glory.
So as EASN started taking off, it wasn't very long, maybe a year and a half, 2 years max. But ESPN came knocking on our door, and we're like, uh-oh.
They were ahead of their time and created a legend.
It's in the game.
Just being able to sit there and play against.
I love that.
Talk some trash.
Growing up.
To say the least, it set a standard.
You cannot deny the impact that Madden has had on this industry.
This is the story behind the longest-running sports game franchise.
It's kind of funny. This was this was the longest running sports game franchise back in the day. I want to say this might be 2003 at the earliest, 2004 at the latest. And this was
But when
20
when this video was made,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is basically just how like Madden was looked at even, 20 plus years ago at this point now.
That's insane. Well, but I mean, yeah, because I'm trying to think like, when I had my Sega, I played World Series baseball. And I think they only made like 2 games,
Yeah.
which was fantastic, phenomenal games. I was a big EA. I was a big EA NBA Live. I loved that game from like the Sega era all the way up to. I played it all the way up to basically PlayStation 1. I didn't buy a yearly release. I waited till it was cheap used, and then I would buy it. So I'd be a year or so behind. But 2 things I remember from that era is the the Sega and the EA Sports. It's in the game. Like it just never gets old hearing that. I don't care how many. I don't care how old I am. I love hearing those 2 things.
Yeah, exactly. Continue.
It's the story of John Madden football.
And he's in for the score. Now that is big time football.
Look at those PS2 graphics there.
So good.
It all begins in 1982 in San Mateo, California, when Bing Gordon and Trip Hawkins form a brand new video game company called Electronic Arts.
Back then, for about 5 years, we were always out of money. We had kind of, no secretaries and kind of.
Sounds like my life.
I can relate.
The sports video game genre is still in its adolescence.
In the evolutionary scale, you have 10-Yard Fight, the Nintendo Classic, which, God, think back to it now, and it's like there are no plays to call. You're constantly running and pretty much just throwing.
I don't remember this game. Do you?
This would be like Atari, probably, or it'd be Commodore.
I think it said Super Nintendo. You said.
Oh yeah, I remember there was like Tecmo football. That was Nintendo. Bo Jackson had that football game too, but yeah, nothing came close to Madden.
Throwing the ball and hoping to make it through without the tacklers coming on. And then of course there's Tecmo Bowl.
There we go.
Definitely
There's
a
Tecmo
classic,
Bowl.
and I think for many people considered the first real football game.
Can't play as Bo Jackson though. You're cheating.
EA begins to
Never.
The first sports game we ever did was Dr. J and Larry Bird go one-on-one. So we decided back then.
Jesus Christ, Dr. J and Larry Bird. We're going back here.
dude.
There's a throwback.
Man, you know what? One of my favorite. I don't know if it's. One of my guilty pleasures is going back and going on YouTube and looking up all the Larry Bird trash talking videos that I can find because he was such a trash talker, and it's so funny because these guys all got smoked by him.
Yeah.
You should, if you want a good laugh, like seriously, just go look some of the stories up on YouTube. They're absolutely hilarious.
We were kind of hardcore sports fans, but a sports game really needed to reflect the real guys.
A relationship with a football legend begins to bloom, and his name is John Madden.
He was local at the time in Oakland area and the Bay Area in California. It was like a 2-day train ride where Tripp went with him and sat with him and kind of picked his brain about football for 2 straight days.
Madden climbs on board with the project and
Now
lives
look at how young Madden is in this photo here.
I know, right? Man. Well, and then they showed his football photo too,
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
which I was like, wait, that does not look like the turducken salesman that I know.
Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed offensive lineman John Madden.
Yeah, he doesn't look scary, but he's a scary coach.
He gave us all his playbooks. Those were really cool. What really had been up until that time a real arcadey kids kind of thing. And all of a sudden, we've got real NFL coaches' playbooks and real information about the roster of NFL teams and gave us pros and cons for each team.
Oh, there
John
you go.
Madden is considered one of the game's foremost experts when it comes to analyzing and breaking down plays. Making the game look realistic is a priority.
I remember when we.
Holy shit, John
first
Madden's
started
actually in this
with-
thing? I didn't know that.
Dude, that is awesome.
Wasn't expecting John Madden to be in here, to be honest. That's catching me off guard. And even still, he
Nice.
looks way younger than when he fucking did. This was this was 20 plus years ago. And
That is,
he didn't look like a corpse back then either.
yeah, that's crazy. And I think just a little bit. You don't have to go back, but one of the guys, because he'll probably talk again.
Yeah.
You can see a bunch of covers, or one of the covers. I'm trying to figure out. Not that kid. He's in the office. It's one of the guys in the office.
Yeah.
There, that guy.
This guy.
I'm trying to find that cover. I think
Of those
it's
Maddens right
Madden
over there.
it's with the circle. I'm trying. That's looks like
I think it's Marshall
like
Falk.
2003. Yeah, it's Marshall
Yeah.
Falk. Yeah,
Because I
So,
noticed a Ram uniform.
Ram.
back there.
Right. So probably about 2003 when this was done.
Right
I'm
on,
gonna
right on.
say. Let's get back to the legend.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go back here.
And breaking down plays. Making the game look realistic is a priority.
I remember when we first started, we always wanted the video game, to look like it does on television. You know, that was one of my goals. The goal was to have it so a kid who didn't know football but was really good with his hands, and a dad who knew football and couldn't hold a Sega control pad could compete. That the dad could call the play and say hike and do nothing, and that a kid could try to make up for it.
After a few months of hard work, John Madden Football is ready for approval.
We went back to Madden after signing the deal and said, hey coach, here it is. It's cool, eh?
When he finally saw the first build, it was at this big marketing meeting.
And the guys at EA are in for a big surprise.
We were real nervous, and I was downstairs outside, in a little loft in South of Market, waiting for John to show up. And, he pulls up in a big limo. He was real massive, and he was pretty surly. He hadn't been out of coaching that long, and some of his finer social skills still probably were yet to be developed. From television announcing and stuff. And he came on, and he sat down, and he looked at what we had, and he was chomping on a big cigar. And he leaned back, and he goes, is that supposed to be a goal line play? And we said, yeah. And he goes, some of this I can't say for family consumption, but he said, that's not an effing goal line play, that is, and we were like, oh no.
That's not all he's unhappy about. Madden thinks the game doesn't look or feel realistic enough either.
He expected to see like an NFL video, not little pixely guys with, blue or red heads.
Yeah, that's some fucking bullshit. You want me to put my name on here? What the fuck? Why are these little guys? Why aren't they big burly men? Football for men.
Where's the 11 versus 11?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go into that, but the original, I think the original build only had 7 versus 7. It didn't even have a full NFL team on the field. He was also really pissed off about that.
Well, let's hear. We got some more.
He already thought we were dweebs, and he looked at it and he went, where's all the guys? He said, 7 on each team.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Players running around. And look at this, and you can create your own plays. And he goes, no. He said, that's not football. He says, that's not Madden football. 7-on-7 football is not Madden football. Get out of here.
And using the John Madden name means using John Madden's input.
It was always very important to Coach Madden that it was a real football game. John always wanted it to be 11-on-11 because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be real football.
The guys went back from that rolling their eyes going, geez, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. It was really hard to get that many guys going with the technology that existed at the time.
Oh, wow.
The
There you
boys
go.
dragged themselves back to the drawing board.
So it took us 2 more years to actually build a football game that reflected what Madden believed in, with field position and types of field conditions and playbooks that reflected one-on-one matchups.
And spearheading the project.
I'll say this. We kind of take this for granted now, But we're talking about like the NES and the Super NES, you know?
Mm.
We're talking about like games that had to be like probably like 100 MB at most.
Right.
And you had to like process every one of these little things and everything else like that. Like, say what you want to say about like the current day Madden games, whatever. But you know, those things compared to what we're dealing with right now are literally Ferraris, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, what they said that they got the license in '82 with Madden, and it took them a couple of years to come up with this particular prototype.
Yeah.
And Madden said no. So they had another couple. I think it's like 6 to 8 years. The game's going to be the first one's going to be in development, and it's not. It's only going to come out on the computer.
Yeah.
So they haven't even gotten to the console stuff yet. Like of what can we do? Like Nintendo is probably just starting to take off by the time Madden comes out for the first time.
Yeah, because this was also around the video game crash too. So there's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff going
here.
on.
Project is EA president Trip Hawkins.
Trip is kind of the Bill Gates of the story. Awesome visionary, great guy.
This is the fucking devil right here, everyone. This is the guy who founded EA. Fucking, you're staring into the souls of fucking Satan himself.
It's Satan.
Gaze into it. You know, this kind of looks like that Cosmo Kramer painting a little bit.
A little, yeah. What's that? There's an actor that it kind of reminds me of. Wise. His last name's Wise. Peter Wise. Oh gosh. Man, that's gonna bug me now for a while.
Yeah. Let's continue then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Football went on for so many years that I think there was a lot of people just didn't know what to think about it.
Finally, after years of toiling with the technology, John Madden Football is ready. And for this young company, it's a labor of love.
If it had been anybody other than Tripp working on it, it would have been killed. But it was really his baby, and it went through a lot of different personnel.
Say 5
Tripp was
years?
always involved, and eventually,
Yeah,
Wow.
I think so.
Crazy.
the first Madden got done.
In 1989, the first Madden games released for the Apple II.
89. Damn.
It's an
Yeah.
instant success.
Everybody was happy and breathed a sigh of relief when it finally got done and got out. The fact that it actually did pretty good may have surprised some people, but it sure didn't surprise Tripp.
It was one of the first 11-on-11 experiences, and it also had a play editor, which was kind of fun even back then.
And the 11-on-11 gameplay Madden himself rallies for is something people have never seen before.
On the original systems, it was very challenging. I mean, these were systems that were, by today's standards, you couldn't run a calculator with these systems. It was a big challenge back then.
Oh, I bet.
In 1990, Madden releases his first console game for the Sega Genesis. And fans couldn't be happier.
Even
Yeah, let's go. The first game was actually on the Sega Genesis, huh?
Well, the first console, yeah, it was on the Genesis. I don't think they had it because the Genesis was more powerful than the SNES.
I did not know that.
They could get more. They could get more out of the Genesis than the Super Nintendo.
Barest, most infantile form, it still got everything that just carried on and made the series great today. I mean, they came up with their interface, the way they handled passing, play calling, everything. I mean, you can look back on that basic game, and it's all there.
We said, well, we got to do football. We got to do hockey because I had some experience in that. And we get started.
The EA Sports brand is born, and its anchor is the Madden football franchise. Soon enough, the two will become synonymous.
That is so crazy to think about that, like, you know, this game came out like just so long ago and what used to be considered revolutionary, you know?
Right.
Especially with just like when I was not born in 89. I wouldn't be born for a couple years later. So
I was living through that, but again, we didn't have sports games weren't good. I had a Nintendo. I still have my US release date Nintendo system, and sports games were not good on the NES, minus like maybe baseball. And so, but again, it came out the first Madden came out on PC, so I wouldn't have even known about it. And the reason why they went with Sega is that the Genesis actually came out in '88, like 3 years before the Super Nintendo would come out. And it was they could get more out of it, because I remember I had a Super Nintendo and I had a Sega. And when I wanted to play fun games, I bought them on Super Nintendo. But when I wanted to play sports, I only bought sports games on Sega.
Right.
I wouldn't play it on anything else.
Okay, let's continue.
The success of John Madden puts
Snow.
EA on the map and continues
yeah.
to raise the bar with new features that add to a more realistic experience. And with Madden 92 comes the
Oh, that pelvic thrust.
Electronic Arts Sports Network.
And we conceived a sports brand very similar to ESPN. The lettering actually looked very similar. It was slanted. We also emulated graphically the announcers at the time. We did, halftime stats. We were just scrolling text, but like it made it seem like there were other games in progress at halftime.
So far, the series seems to be a success, but the next installment really becomes a fan favorite.
Where we really start to see Madden take off was Madden 93 on the Sega Genesis.
It's simple stuff like, catching a jumping touchdown catch when somebody else dove in front of you and they're left on the ground, you go running. Stuff like that, just the rewarding head-to-head experience.
It all comes down to details.
On the Genesis, what we do is we bring in like kind of gimmicky things like the ambulance.
Just great gameplay. You're looking at teams like the Bears, the Eagles, great teams to play with, the Cowboys, the 49ers. Just having a blast sitting around playing those games till all hours of the night.
Well, look at that.
And EASN gets busted.
See, I didn't realize that they had a little thing like this back in the day too, with the EA Sports Network, and then apparently we're about to find out that ESPN said,
Oh, can't take our money.
It's infringement.
ESPN, the 24-hour sports cable network.
So as EASN started taking off, it wasn't very long, maybe a year and a half, 2 years max, that ESPN came knocking on our door, and we're like, uh-oh.
ESPN accuses EA of copying the look and style of the network.
At the time, we're still small. ESPN is this big, huge, network thing, and we're like, oh no, what have I done? They didn't sue us, but they threatened action because, trademark infringement. They thought the logo looked too similar, the announcers looked too similar. It was a sports network. The whole thing was getting them uptight.
So the two come to an agreement.
So we negotiated, and they made it worth our while to stop being EASN.
We negotiated a settlement whereby we would change our name, and they were going to give us free television airtime for commercials.
Well, there you go.
EASN became
EA Sports.
EA Sports.
Madden 94 marks the
It's a
debut
good
for
deal.
the tag. It's in the game.
Yeah, you kind of can't argue with that. It's one of the premier sports network back in the day, and even today is going to give you a free commercial time to promote your game. It's kind of hard to say no,
Right. I'm surprised it took ESPN 2 years, though.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. They probably got more popular, and then they were starting to get worried. It's like, hey.
That's fair, yeah.
Other additions include real NFL teams and four-way play on the Genesis version.
Madden 94, I believe, was one of the first ones where you had the 3D camera system where you could actually pan around a player and view that from different angles.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit better visualization of the field.
I remember that.
Madden 94 provides the complete experience with enhanced gameplay, options, presentation, and music. John Madden's move from CBS to the Fox broadcasting booth is reflected in the next game, Madden 95.
That's funny.
With the most striking gameplay change,
Right.
the windowless passing option.
We took those windows off, and it was like, oh my God, you can still see the guys running down the field and come open in a zone when they beat their man on a man-to-man coverage, and you can throw the ball.
Such a simple
The
little
seemingly
concept, you
unstoppable
think,
Madden
right?
franchise and the mighty EA
Right.
Sports production and marketing arms are challenged yet again. In 1995, Sony Computer Entertainment introduces the PlayStation, a brand new console. Eager to capitalize on this new hardware, EA goes to work. The developer, Visual Concepts, is hired to create the game, but the design team at EA is unhappy.
Group out in California was working on it, not Tiburon, and it went on forever.
Meanwhile, Sony begins work on their own football game, NFL Game Day.
EA Sports was very vulnerable on the new platform because they hadn't made the commitment to PlayStation that we had. For us, it was PlayStation must win or we're all out of work. It was very simple.
Yeah.
And for EA, a lot of people believed Sega Saturn was more likely to be a successful platform.
Oh, how wrong they were.
Wow.
Just,
My God.
just hearing those words, we thought the Sega Saturn was going to be more successful than the
I
PlayStation.
mean, that was the sentiment growing up,
Yeah.
but nobody owned one. I remember as a kid, like all the kids were like, "Yeah, Sega Saturn. It's going to be. It's got the best crap," but nobody had one. Nobody had a Jaguar either. And that was the other one too. They're like, "Oh, these are going to be, Sega and Nintendo killers," but I never knew anybody that owned them.
Yeah, I only knew one person, and by new I mean they were like just random kids in my apartment building growing up that had a Sega Dreamcast. You know?
Wow.
I only knew one particular group of people. I don't even remember their names. You know?
Right. You know what? My brother had a Dreamcast, and my brother was the only person on this earth that I ever met that owned a Dreamcast. But everybody loves it. Everybody swears by the system. And I'm like, I don't know. I used to play Crazy Taxi with him on it, but that was about it.
I bought a Dreamcast. I tried playing with the Dreamcast, and I said, I see why this failed. And I recently sold my Dreamcast collection.
But the thing about the Dreamcast is it had a lot of really good ideas that the system, it's minus the ridiculousness of how to hold the controller.
Yeah.
Like, the mouse and keyboard, the online, like it had a lot of features that were way ahead of its time compared to where Nintendo and Sony were.
Right. But, at the end of the day, it's like ideas are great. It's just how they were put into practice at the time,
Right. No, exactly.
See, another thing, too, is since we're talking about PlayStation had like Game Day, we had the 2K Sports Series and everything else like that. Even the Xbox had their own version of a football game with NFL Fever. And
And ESPN also had its own football game, too, for a little bit.
yeah, and the reason,
Outside of the 2K.
well, the reason why for all that stuff is that they didn't have these exclusive deals like you see
No.
nowadays. Like the NFL basically said, yeah, go nuts and make whatever. Like Sony I still don't believe that Sony actually has a exclusive rights for MLB The Show. It's just that they were the only ones that kept making those baseball games until eventually to the point
No,
where
it was the show was because I was working at GameStop when that happened, actually. So I remember that. So Sony doesn't have an exclusive contract. They're just the only ones that have a contract.
yeah, they're the only ones
for
that
baseball
took it on.
games.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the 2K, I think 2K12 was the last baseball game.
Right.
That was on the 360. But the 2K games were just bad. They were getting bad. They were just basically hamming it in. The only game that was getting love was like sports wise from 2K was basketball. And they were pretty demoralized when they lost, the NFL license. I don't like it. I like that the Major League Baseball forced Sony to put the game out on multi-platform.
Right.
Because that was like 10, how many years was that before Xbox or even PC fans, or I don't think it's ever been out on the Switch, but possibly the Switch will have the chance to play an actual baseball game.
Well, MLB The Show is on the Switch now.
Is it? I didn't know if it was on the
Yeah.
Switch. Oh, that's right. It was. Yeah.
I think
That's
it was
right.
with
Yeah.
that the Pirates player. I think that he was the first one on there. I can't.
Oh
remember his
yeah.
name. Luis Franco.
McCutcheon.
I think.
Was it Franco? No. Okay.
I couldn't
don't know.
remember. He's a black guy who played for the Pirates, so don't shoot me.
Yeah.
I'm not a big baseball guy.
No. You're good. You're good. But I hate that. I hate that so many people didn't get to play baseball, and they were forced to buy a system that maybe they didn't want to play.
Right. Exactly.
Or purchase, like especially sports games, because they get stagnant. They need competition. It's the only way that these games get better.
Yeah, and on top of that too, just to kind of put this out there as well, like this is the first year in a long time that a Madden game is coming to a Nintendo console.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's continue. We are almost done with this.
Well, they were wrong. Game Day gives Madden a run for its money. It offers a new look with new technology. That's exactly what gamers are looking for.
Our first Game Day was a sprite-based, really 3D environments with overlaid sprite characters, as was Madden. So we had to market to ourselves that first year, and that really allowed us to establish a sports brand for us.
Look at that, man.
Had to stay with the technology curve. Game Day surpassed them, especially in the 3D stuff. Madden got caught with an old engine, tried to catch up, and missed the boat.
Madden 96 doesn't ship, and EA loses millions of dollars in development money. But they look.
They didn't ship it Madden in '96. Oh my God.
No, they couldn't, because they couldn't figure out how to develop for PlayStation.
That's so funny to think about right there. Could you imagine if they
And it
said,
was-
"Nah, we're not shipping a Madden this year"?
Yeah, they said it was such utter garbage that they couldn't ship it. Yeah, it was bad. In fact, I think they put one out the next year, but like it was rough for these next couple of years for Madden, really rough.
Learn a valuable lesson.
Game Day made them go back to the drawing board, look at the technology. They had probably gotten a little lazy reusing the same engine.
But that's the transition going to a new platform. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're going to be doing, and we really just didn't know what we were doing at the time.
The missing year, that was a leap year, I think. That was a pretty brutal time for the Madden franchise, and I know some guys lost their jobs over that one.
EA comes through the following year and releases Madden 97. They finally get the chance to go head-to-head with Sony on the PlayStation platform.
Took a year to regroup, had Tiburon do the code and do the game, and the game was great.
Tiburon, a company based in Florida, takes over the
That
development
looks
of the Madden franchise.
bad
I think when we first did Madden 97,
compared to Game
the
Day.
skeleton team, we had maybe 12 people total.
It looks more
They
saturated,
did
the
come out with
colors.
a Madden game.
And it's good.
We
Yeah.
came out with a Game Day. It was pretty nip and tuck. They outsold us, but that was Madden, and it had a tremendous following. It legitimized the platform. PlayStation went through the roof.
Touchdown. Hi, I'm John Madden.
The next year, Madden 98 succumbs to the competition.
Oh no.
Complete.
In the third year, we made a very bold move. We took Game Day and we went all polygonal. That was the one year that we actually outsold Madden, and I think it shook Electronic Arts to the core that it could be beat. And at that point, there was a perception that you could never beat EA in any of their sports.
The rivalry gets ugly. Kelly Flock from Sony.
That's kind of funny to think about. That PlayStation was in a rivalry with Madden. I never really knew about that one either.
During that era, and even up to like the PS3 and some like Sony's basketball game, their NBA games were up there because NBA Live had took a dump, and so Sony got back. Sony was still there in the basketball game, and then they started giving 2K a run for the money until 2K
Got exclusivity.
He secured that exclusivity. Yeah, because 2K and oh gosh, what was the NBA version of the PlayStation game? Showcase or
there's like Fever Live and all that stuff as well.
Well, EA Live was EA.
Yeah, I can't remember PlayStation's.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick because it's so it's a Sony brand. I think it was even Santa Monica, but gosh, what? It's kind of gonna bug me until I figure it out. Because I can see the cover. It had somebody from the Phoenix Suns on it. PS3 game. Not NBA Jam. The last time it came out was like the PS3 era. I'll look it up. I'll bring it. I'll let you know. But I'll figure it out and find it later.
All right, cool.
Sony's 989 Sports Studios goes public with his gripes about the competition.
989
and it's all on record.
I did an interview for Next Gen. They asked me questions, and I told them what I thought. They were making claims as to why their game was technically superior. And they were talking a lot about this feature they had in the game called Liquid AI, which, as far as we could tell, meant nothing. Based on the reaction when they saw the polygonal game day, we said Liquid AI was what was running down their legs after they saw our game.
EA lets Madden 99 speak for them. The weaknesses in the 98 version are addressed, and the result is stunning. Madden outsells Sony's NFL.
Where the fuck are they playing?
Yeah, right.
What football stadium is this?
Who knows? It's definitely not Mile High.
This definitely does not look like Mile High. This looks like Boise State minus the blue turf, maybe.
and half the stadium.
Yeah, it's like, here we go, guys. Let's get on the Denver Broncos and the fucking Green Bay Packers live at your local high school stadium.
Yeah, and it was NBA 09 the inside. That was the last. So it was the inside was their NBA franchise.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Polygonal that year, so graphically there was a big visual upgrade. Madden NFL 99 also introduced a franchise mode. You draft players, trade, you can sign free.
That is kind of like my favorite part about these games is the franchise mode, being my own GM, playing God.
Right. That's the game. That's a game changer right there. But they were dabbling with that in NBA Live. Because in NBA Live '96, you could play a season and you could trade your players. So they were grabbing from the other EA games. Obviously, they're all working together.
Yeah.
But I think they started that in the NBA Live games, and then spent however long they did to put together that franchise mode. But that's the game changer right there. People talk about Ultimate Football Team, but I think what it's all about is the franchise mode.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, I just love building my own roster team and everything else like that. Kind of just like reliving kind of like I'm going to trade 2 first-round picks kind of stuff and just get like the best ultimate team, oversign the players. I got into trouble with franchise mode though. I left the salary cap on, and I think I made it like 7 seasons in, and I had like negative $1 billion or something on my roster. I don't know how much money I was under, but I was like, I couldn't even sign my rookies to contracts. I was like, fuck that. I may have won 7 Super Bowls, but I can't even. I'm being contracted, because we can't afford to pay our players at all,
Dang.
It was the
That's
funniest
crazy.
thing. It was the funniest thing. It's like, yeah, signing bonus, sure, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, $100 million.
Yeah, why not? I'm gonna run up the price on it. What do you mean we can't sign our 3 first-round draft picks I traded for? What do you mean?
We can't even sign the janitors.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I this is like literally. First off, the Chicago Bears don't spend like that crazy, but I'm just like, what would they do? Like the NFL would have to step in and just like take over show ownership of what I've done to this team. It's like, it's the funniest thing to think about. It's just like we're being contracted after we won 7 Super Bowls. There's a price of
That's
winning.
Crazy. Oh my god.
And then after that, I made sure never to put salary cap on. It's still funny. Yeah, let's continue.
Agents, et cetera, et cetera.
By the end of the decade, the Madden franchise generates revenues of $80 million. And EA Sports increases its share of the sports game market to 58%.
Oh,
Madden
wow.
reclaims their spot at the top of the sports gaming genre. But EA's biggest challenge is yet to come.
That's crazy to think about. Like 58% of the market share was EA Sports. That's wild, and that only kind of has grown now to basically, it has to be like well over 70% at this point, maybe even more.
Well, I mean, they only have, let's see, they've got the NHL, they've got football,
NHL, football.
college and pro.
Yes.
And then they have UFC. Do they still have the UFC deal?
I believe they still have the UFC deal. They also have a reworked deal with FIFA. It's no longer called FIFA, but they still have a deal with the soccer clubs.
Right. So they deal directly with the soccer clubs and not FIFA. It's just called EAFC or whatever.
Yeah.
If you like the soccer, but that's about it. But
Yeah.
I mean that's probably just Madden and
Well, they have
just
golf.
Madden and
They got golf.
yeah,
now.
but
They
it's
brought
not
golf
exclusive.
back.
2K has golf too.
Yeah, that's true. But like that, they also don't have soccer exclusively either.
No, but nobody else is doing soccer good.
Well, Konami is actually
Konami.
got a good one with Pro Football Manager.
Well, I heard was it last year or the year before was not very good. So, but if they're doing better, that's great. That's good. That's good news.
Yeah, that's
but
another
I think
one out there.
I think just based on even if we take college football out, based on Madden and FIFA or soccer, they probably had like 75, if not 75%, 80% of the market share. Just
going
just on those 2 games.
Well, on top of that too, like if you think about like what EA had versus now, let's go back a little bit. They had Fight Night. You can't forget about Fight Night. They had all the big EA Sports big model line, which had like things like NFL Street, Soccer Street, NBA,
NHL hits.
Yeah, they had all those.
Slugfest.
The SXX tricky games as well.
Yep. They had NASCAR. They had NASCAR for a long time.
NASCAR. Oh, don't forget they also had the really fun Def Jam games as well.
Oh, were those like fighting games?
Those are
like
wrestling games.
Boxing game? Oh, wrestling. Okay.
Yeah. But they were published by EA, and those are still some of the best wrestling games I think I've ever played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like EA was like on fire with their sports division. And we're talking it was like on everything. It was on every major console, handhelds, next gen consoles, PC. Like we're probably leaving out a lot of EA Sports published games too while we talk about this. But they had literally their fingers in so many pies back in the day that during this time they said this what 98, 99 they were just showing there for Madden.
Yeah.
So like that, and they had 58% of the sports market share, share for just the PS1 and 64 generation. And we'll be kind. We'll throw in a Saturn. We'll throw in a Sega Saturn too as well.
Right, yeah, for the 10 people that owned one.
All 7 Saturn fans, including myself now, who's a Saturn fan long after it was dead.
Yeah. Exactly.
But like,
oh, that's crazy.
That's still an impressive stat, especially when the market wasn't as homogenized and the deals weren't struck yet. That's still an impressive juggernaut sphere, you know?
Well, there's one big thing, and we'll wait till the end of the show. But there's a huge thing that this so far that they have left out that EA did. So I'm curious to see if they're going to touch on that or not.
Yeah, we're about to probably see that too because we got a little bit left.
Yeah.
Hey, you want big time football? The hits, the boom, the doink, the whap, it's all here.
The doink.
Look at this on replay.
When you see Madden PS2 played on a TV, you may think it's a televised game, depending on what you're looking at.
With the throw. Owens with the reception.
Yes, I could totally understand myself falling for thinking that was a real fucking thing.
2000, Sony introduces a new system, the PlayStation 2, a
PS2.
follow-up to the wildly successful PlayStation, and EA is all over it.
PlayStation 2, you brought in muscle texture, you brought in real player faces.
Good old Brett Favre.
Textures. You brought in
Garcia,
so
Jeff
many
Garcia.
things
We're
that just
going
never
back,
even
baby.
thought of it.
We're going back. We're going back to a good time of football. Before Brett Favre was hated for fucking scamming a volleyball team for fucking funds or something. I forget. It was something to do with Mississippi. Brett Favre, only football player I would consider to be a real man whose dad fucking hated him. He loved his dad, but his dad fucking treated him like dog shit. That's some southern dad love right there. That's why he got addicted to pain pills just because of his fucking dad.
Right, that's up there with the I'm gonna go get a carton of cigarettes and never come back. Like, Hall of Fame dad. You know what I mean?
He had the opposite spectrum. He's like, oh, you got in a car crash? Fucking, I care. You're going out there for win the game, boy.
Oh, damn.
I didn't want to disappoint my daddy, so I had to go out there and win a Super Bowl. He was mad at me that I never won a second one, though. Fucking hell. Oh man, this is a throwback right here.
A video game before, but it's second nature to watching it on TV to the point where you may think it's a televised game.
The rush is on. Gannon hands it off.
Oh, Gannon. We got
Rich
Richard Gannon.
Holy
Oh,
cow.
wow. That's a name for the pass.
Right?
Co-MVP, Rich Gannon. Never got to be a full MVP, but it was good enough to get a co-MVP. I think with Peyton Manning, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how great that one season was with the Raiders when they lost to the
Raiders
Buccaneers.
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was what's his name? Coaching the
Gruden.
Gruden, yeah, that was Gruden coaching the Bucks. And then didn't he leave the Bucks to go right to the Raiders the next year, if I remember correctly?
He flip-flopped it.
Did I flip-flop it?
Yeah, he was on the Raiders,
Okay.
and then Dungy, he was actually the head coach of the Buccaneers. And then they parted ways, and then they traded for Gruden. And then, like, the very next
That's right.
next year, they play basically his team in the Super Bowl. So he played himself in the Super Bowl. Like, he was actually the scout team quarterback for their Super Bowl prep, Gruden was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like a lot of play concepts and designs, I guess they were doing. Like he was simulating Rich Gannon too perfectly. That's also why that defense like really hammered him home, I guess.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's so crazy to think about. Like a lot of people like to shit on Gruden for that Super Bowl because they go like, well, it wasn't his team. It was actually Dungy's team, you know? But then it's also like, well, he also played himself in a Super Bowl, if you want to make that argument, because he played against the Gruden Raiders. So it's so weird to think how sports work out sometimes, you know?
But that doesn't make any sense because sometimes you need that coaching change in order to get your team over the line.
Yeah.
You know, like in basketball, a great example would be the Warriors. You know, they had a good team. They had Mark Jackson as the coach.
Yeah.
They kept going to the playoffs, but they didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then Kerr comes in, and I'm not saying it's all Kerr. In fact, I don't think it, especially that early success. I think it's his assistant coaches. He brought in the right people, and the coaching group as a whole is what got that team over that hump.
Well, you like need that spark too. A lot of people forget about this too, but like for those who don't remember, since we're staying on the football subject, uh, can you guys tell me who the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were when they won that Super Bowl?
I know Warren Sapp was on that team, right?
And Warren Sapp was on that team, but it was not any fucking amazing quarterback at all. I think it was Brad Johnson.
Oh, God, I want to say that's right.
Yeah, here.
But
yeah, Brad Johnson
I'm-
was the former Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, and he led them to the Super Bowl to win against the Oakland Raiders. Brad Johnson. Could anyone tell me, like, if they could remember that fucking name? That generic NPC fucking quarterback name that you make as like the default name. All right, come on.
Right. That's the default EA character, which is the number and no name.
Right. Like the only thing I can remember, like the only reason I remember Brad Johnson was because he was the Vikings quarterback, I think, for like a season. And it was like a fun trivia fact. It was like Brad Johnson, former Super Bowl champion. And you're like, with who? The Buccaneers. It's like that's it. Brad Johnson was not this like amazing quarterback, all right? There's some times that like you just need a placeholder quarterback, and Brad Johnson, perfect name for being the placeholder quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
Electronic Arts in Tiburon, we really focused on PlayStation 2.
We had our best and brightest folks working on it for probably 2 years before the game shipped. And they went and they made an engine and made a game.
Also, fun fact, since we're talking about this too, Madden 2009 for the original Xbox is actually expensive.
Really?
The original one, yeah, because I think it was like super short printed, so it's like worth like about like $50, and it pisses me off because I need it for my Xbox Master set that I'm
Collection.
working on.
You know, it's crazy to. Did you know Brad Johnson played 17 seasons in the NFL?
Yes.
That's insane.
Guy was a journeyman. You know, like he was like
definitely a journeyman.
Yeah.
Anyone, Super Bowl. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler, actually.
One of them had to be with the Buccaneers, I bet, right?
I believe it was that. It had to have been 2002. So yeah, that was. But 99, he was also a Pro Bowler in 99.
Was he on the Bucks in 99?
I'm
We're
looking right now.
We're the #1 Brad Johnson fan club
Redskins.
right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you and me. You know what? We're just Brad Johnson lifers now. From now on, we need to get him tattooed. We need to get a Brad Johnson tattoo.
We got to get like one of those like compound jerseys of all the teams he's played for.
I mean, that 99 season, dude, 4,005 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, a 90 passer rating.
That's a good passer rating. That means he was really good at not turning the ball over.
His 316 completions set a Washington team record, a Redskins record.
Yeah. We don't fuck with the commies. We're Redskins, baby.
That's right, baby. That's right. Yeah, so that's a damn good season.
Yeah.
And then he fell off, and then he was right back there with Tampa Bay, which is crazy. That's a hell of a season, though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Especially for 99, yeah.
Yeah, 99 was a year.
Okay,
we can go. Sorry.
I just want to say, fun fact: my father-in-law, he's a Redskins fan.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the best Father's Day gifts he's ever gotten was when I got him a John Riggins Redskins jersey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. My dad has a game-worn Thurman Thomas jersey signed.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know how he got it, but he somehow got one. I was like, that's okay. That's legit.
All right, let's continue.
That really was everything we wanted it to be. We sat around in a room for a week trying to figure out what would we want the ultimate Madden to be.
Have those two.
It's like Madden here, like, yeah, I gotta make them look like they do steroids. Come on.
He's only missing a beer. That's
Yeah.
that's it, like a can of like Pabst or something.
I guarantee you they had to hide it when they were filming this mock
Probably.
because he was probably already 3 sheets in, and they're like,
Yeah.
Mr. Madden, you know, we can't film this with you having a beer out. We know you're hammered, but still.
Right. Yeah, well, it's just like Harry Carey and the Cubs, right?
Yeah, exactly. He kind of looks like older Bob Hope in this one at a USO show.
Right. But he's got the Chinese eyes going right here, though. Maybe that's the pixels, though.
Yeah. Well, it's also because he could be fucking just hungover too. You never know.
He's probably lit as shit.
Outside guys, instead of running 3, have them run post, double post.
Deep
What the hell did he just say?
And PlayStation 2 Madden
Tell him run the post.
Was probably it at the time.
We came to E3 with something that was just visually stunning, and that was also, one of the best kind of moments, in the franchise is just going there with something just, eye-dropping.
No, this doesn't look too bad, actually.
The new game includes features that give gamers more options and gameplay. It's closer to TV broadcast quality with more intricate commentary and color
Jeremiah
analysis.
Trotter. I saw Jeremiah. I saw Trotter out there. You know, it's so fucked up to think about. His kid also plays for the Eagles now. With John, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Check,
Yeah,
check.
You might have muted yourself.
Boop, doo, doo.
I hear you.
Okay, yeah, no, I was here. Yeah. Hey, man, he got himself a Super Bowl ring. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll take
Jeremiah
that.
Trotter and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. all played for Eagles. Fucking weird to think about.
Incomplete. That pass was thrown with so much velocity on it that the receiver never caught up with it.
PlayStation 2, we really started to see the swappable parts with elbow pads and gloves and different types of face masks. Over the years, we've really kind of gotten into the more and more visuals that separate Madden from year to year. We wanted realistic player faces, and we sort of halfway got there, and we've kind of improved.
Realistic player
Once
faces?
you start being able to zoom in on the faces, you need to see them blink.
Yeah, realistic player faces. Here, hold on. Let's go back a little bit here.
Right.
Look at this guy. Yeah, fucking. Well, he is a cowboy, so he might be fucking coked up. So you're probably right about this one being a realistic face.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, you could even open the eyes up wider, and it would still track.
And we've kind of improved on that every year, but once you start being able to zoom in on the faces, you need to see the.
Yeah, right there. It's like, yeah, coach, you got the fucking smelling salt. Look at Kurt Warner over here. Fucking good.
That looks nothing like Kurt Warner.
Good Christian boy Kurt Warner. Fucking cracked out on fucking cocaine over here.
Right.
This is fucking when they were playing in St. Louis, though, so maybe that's what it was. Kurt Warner had to go to the desert to escape the fucking 8 balls of the fucking streets of fucking St. Louis.
Blink, you need to see their eyes move. You need to.
I mean, the coach looks
level
correct.
of detail just
Yeah.
kind of snowballed as we kind of delved into the nuances of the
Ooh,
game.
interception.
Yeah, the game isn't over yet. Here comes Sega.
Really, the competition has come from the Sega Sports franchise
Yes.
and the NFL 2K series.
The Sega
Yes.
football game is real strong. And I know that it surprised EA.
Really what it comes down to for most gamers, though, is preference, and even Sega will admit, though, Madden set the standard. If EA Sports and John Madden Football had never existed, Sega Sports' NFL 2K series wouldn't even be a reality.
Yeah, I fucking love 2K so much more. That was like the definitive version of football for me, especially 2K. When they had that big partnership with ESPN as well, and you had like, what's his name?
Dan Patrick.
Not Dan Patrick, the other guy.
The one that's crazy now?
No.
Keith Olbermann?
No.
Scott Van Pelt?
No. He's been there forever. He's like the guy goes back. 60-second football. Hey, I forget what's this guy's name. Fuck.
I don't know.
Here I'll look it up. This is gonna drive me.
Yeah, because I haven't had cable in like 25 years. So like I'm pretty far behind. I never got to play the 2K games, but I heard they had like the best franchise modes.
Yeah.
For the football games. Like the franchise mode, it was super in depth. You could the AI generated characters that would pop up at the end of each season, stuff like that.
God dang it! This is gonna be driving me up the wall. I know this guy's name. Uh. Not Chris Mortensen. Uh, he's an older guy. He's been there since like day one.
Berman?
Chris Berman. I think it's Chris Berman.
Yeah, Chris Berman. Yeah.
Let me double check.
Oh yeah. He's going back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me just double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Chris Berman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was great. That guy's great.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
Although Sega makes a great game, Madden remains a fan favorite. The teams at EA and Tiburon work diligently to keep the game fresh and current.
The stat was Madden has been the top 5 games every year for the last 5 or 10 years in terms of sales.
A remarkable touchdown play.
Yeah, everything seemed to go right on that one.
It's a challenging one, so our attitude has always been we can't be complacent and really taking that attitude in terms of looking at the competition, looking at the trend, and really focusing on what are the
He's
2,
now at
3, 4
Amazon. The
things
other
that
guy that
we
was
do
just
that
next
will
to him.
make this game feel like a
Oh, yeah.
purchase.
Yeah, I forget.
The most recent version of Madden is considered the best in the franchise and the industry.
A tremendous catch.
I keep forgetting the guy who just talked. Fuck, I hate forgetting their names. Because he used to do Sunday Night Football with fucking. Why am I blanking so fucking hard right now?
Because it's a subject that you like, but you're on the spot.
Yeah, but this is fucking like embarrassing for me. Al Michaels, that's it. Al Michaels.
Yeah, Al Michaels.
I couldn't remember. That's Al Michaels. Oh, wow, look at how young Al Michaels was too back then. This is
Right.
this is such a fucking trip down memory lane, man. God. Oh.
Who else did they get for it's Al Michaels? He's just doing Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, he got a big
He's doing the
contract.
he's
does it
doing the
with
play.
Kirk-
Oh, and they got
Kirk Herbstreit.
Kirk Herbstreit. Yeah, that's a big get. And then I don't really care about any but Tony Gonzalez is the analyst. Okay, I'll take that.
He used to do Sunday Night Football with the guy I fucking despise the most, Chris Collinsworth.
Oh, yeah. Not as I can
him.
do Collinsworth. It's that other guy from Fox that I hate. And I can't remember his name.
Oh, which team for Fox are we talking about here? Because remember, they got like the A team.
No, he does sports. He does baseball.
Oh,
he does it all. You know exactly who I'm talking about because
yeah,
nobody fucking likes the guy.
He does the Sunday Night Football, the Monday Night Football now with Troy Aikman.
He retired from doing baseball. He doesn't do. I don't know if he does announcing you.
No, he still does. It's for Monday Night Football. Because he's Joe Buck.
Yes.
Joe Buck. Yeah, Joe Buck. I couldn't remember his name on the top of my head either. But like Joe Buck,
Joe Fuck,
Joe Fuck, and I don't hate Joe Buck that much. He did get into the Football Hall of Fame.
I can't stand him.
But they had this like funny. They had like one of his worst calls. They're like, with calling like this, I can understand why Joe Buck made the Football Hall of Fame. And I forget the guy's first name, but it's like Mitchell was the guy, and he was like returning a kick, and Joe Buck just goes, Mitchell, Mitchell, Mitchell. Mitchell.
Oh my God.
he couldn't because he was returning this kick. And I can't blame him. It was just he probably was just like so wrapped up in the game that he was just like losing like his train of thought. He just kept just go like the guy could go, It's just it was one of the funnier ones for sure.
I actually, believe it or not, I actually couldn't stand watching. This is going to be totally blasphemous. I couldn't stand watching games that John Madden was calling.
He was wild, yeah.
I do not like him as a play-by-play guy, but I love sitting down listening to him talk about football outside of a TV setting, right? Because he's kind of got to dumb it down so that everybody understands. You never know if you've got somebody new coming in watching, and you want them to understand how the game's played. Like I completely get that, right? Like that's the smart thing to do. I like it better when he sits down and he just kind of goes and does his own thing. Maybe he's super drunk and he just keeps talking, whatever. I'm totally fine with that. But I didn't like him as a football announcer because it was just the same thing over and over.
I mean, to be fair, this Madden was a little bit before my time. He was still around, but I didn't really get aware of it until like he was at the end or just had recently retired. I mean, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth are more memorable to me because those are what I kind of grew up with more,
Those guys have been around forever. Well, right, and then you had to watch football on Fox.
Yeah.
And if you're a Bears fan, right? The Bears are going to get more nationally televised games, which means a higher chance of getting blacked out though on those Fox games or not getting to watch them.
So how it works is by like region. So usually like Fox is the NFC network and CBS is the AFC network.
Right.
So that's how they kind of usually like divvy up like how you normally watch sports.
Is that still how they do it now or no?
Mostly, yes. So there are some times when the Bears play like AFC team, it's on CBS. Oh. But because they're an NFC team, they're usually on Fox Sports, and that's where that's where I watch a majority of the Bears games on Fox Sports.
Gotcha.
And then ABC and ESPN and NBC, like those are the ones that split up like the primetime game. So NBC gets, the Sunday night game. Monday Night Football is, ABC and ESPN because they're Disney networks. And then Amazon is the new player and they got the Thursday night rights. And now Netflix is coming in with like the exclusive holiday games and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Well, but Madden would do like he would do the primetime games. He would do the big game of the.
Yeah, because eventually, him and Al Michaels, they started doing they went to NBC after Fox.
Right.
So like, Madden used to be like the number one show host. So like, I don't remember who the CBS network is for their number one team. I think it might be Tony Romo or Tony Romo's Fox. But like Tony Romo is like the number one guy. And then like
I heard he's pretty good. I haven't heard him, but I heard he's actually pretty good at what he does.
Yeah. So basically, it's like the primetime game of the week they give to like the number one broadcasting duo,
the number one guy, yeah.
And then like if like you're the Bears, you get like we're trying out like retired fucking third stringer,
Ricardo Monteblog or whatever. Right. Yeah, I hate. I mean, man, sports. Sport. So, like when I lived in Sacramento, right, growing up, all the Raiders games were blacked out. You couldn't watch the Raiders games. And the only time you could watch Niners games were off there televised. Because I can't stand that. Like, here's a really good example. I can't order NFL if I order NFL Network, if I order Major League Baseball or NBA, right? If I order the online packages, I can't see any California teams. They're all blacked out. Well, no, I can see Los Angeles and I can see San Diego, but I can't see Northern California. Even though I am 300 something miles away from them. In the middle of nowhere.
So
Well, I don't know about the Raiders anymore, but I can't watch Niners. I can't watch A's unless
it's a
unless
regional
I
contract thing. That's the
yeah
problem.
there's the regional contracts. Yeah, but
That's
it's
like a big thing with all sports networks that a lot of people are getting annoyed with.
Yeah. But I mean, it's been that way for a while too.
Yeah.
I mean, when I grew up watching basketball as a kid, the whatever channel UPN was on, they used to carry all the Sacramento Kings games. So it was all local. It was done all local.
Yeah, the best way to get around that if you pay for it is a VPN. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is stupid. Like especially out here, like in Chicago. So I'm a hockey guy and I like football. Football is easier for me to follow because it's like just one day a week is where most of the action is, and then like I could pick and choose if I really care about listening to the other ones.
Right.
But now we got like the Marquee Network, and then we got like the I like the Reinsdorf Network, as like I call it, because Jerry Reinsdorf owns the White Sox and the Bulls.
Oh yeah, that guy.
And then on top of that too, the Blackhawks are also involved in this. So now we have like 3, 4, 5, 6, like 17 different networks that we have to sit down and watch and try to find it. And if you have ESPN, they black out the local games. So they do like the inverse. So you can't watch the Chicago Blackhawks if you
have ESPN.
If you have ESPN, and you're going to watch the ice hockey game, because they force you to watch the local thing. It's so fucking archaic.
That makes no
asinine.
sense.
Yes, I know. And it pisses me off. You know who actually has a good video that people should watch for it? A former guest of the channel, Urinating Tree is his name. He breaks down
great name.
Everything. Yeah, great guy. I tell everyone, if you like sports, you should follow that guy. He breaks them down amazing. Great guy. Very, very nice human being. But
because that's crazy. Like I would, well, I don't think they did it this year, but in previous years, NBA 2K, they put out, you get this big edition of the game, right?
Right.
Well, included in that big edition, you got a whole year of NBA streaming NBA, like the whole package, the big expensive kahunas, right? And I would have bought that, and I don't buy sports games every year. I would have bought that, but I could never watch my games.
Right.
And I don't want to sit at my computer and watch them. I want to watch them on the damn TV or something. Well, I mean, I don't have a TV anymore because the kid broke it, but if I, you know what I mean? If I could, but like, I feel bad for same thing with the baseball. Like my wife's a Cubs fan. She's like, oh yeah, let's, and I'm like, no, because the Cubs play San Francisco all the time. They play Los Angeles, like a huge chunk of their games, and the baseball's expensive, and same, I just, it sucks. It's stupid. People can't enjoy nice things.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it's so hard for people to enjoy, to get to enjoy sports, right? And then on top of that, there sometimes there's ways around it where you watch the opposing teams
broadcast.
But who wants to listen to a bunch of homers for the team that you hate? You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that, but it's like sometimes you make the sacrifices that you need to make,
Which I totally understand, right? And the other thing that bugs me too is nationally televised games. Like you're paying for all the games from a team to the NFL or NBA or whatever. You should be able to get to watch it on if you paid for it, you should, because football's a couple $100, isn't it?
Right.
Well, you know what I mean?
Now they've been kind of cheaper because now, like for me, I watch the NFL broadcast. I always pay for the Red Zone, and it's like $10 a month for the Red Zone for the football season.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to watch like the Monday night football and or the Sunday night games, you have to pay for the other two add-ons, like ESPN Plus or
well, yeah, but now that ESPN has all all the NFL films and that's going to be included in ESPN now.
That's going to be probably next year. It won't be in time for
Yeah,
this season.
I think it's 12 to 19 months that it's yeah.
We'll basically find out next year when everything goes through, because
it has to go through that approval process.
It hasn't been officially announced yet either by ESPN or NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's most likely going to happen, but
I thought that got announced for sure.
It got leaked, but it hasn't been officially announced. Like I didn't.
Gotcha.
There's been no official statement, from ESPN or the NFL. But the NFL Network has been like kind of slowly dying and closing down and winding down and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it makes me sad because I really like the NFL Network, and it's just sad that they're just going to hand it over to ESPN. Other network that I think has just gone downhill for like a decade straight.
Now.
It's been terrible. Like so like even before like the current day stuff, like ESPN has just been going downhill. It's like all the talent has been like just gone. They started toning down everyone.
Basically, once Patrick and Olbermann as a team were gone. Like that was, I think that was really the start of the decline, because Sports Center with those two was like people that didn't even watch sports would watch them because they were just really good together. You know what I'm saying? Now ESPN kept it going for a good long time, and I think they got lucky with shows like Pardon the Interruption and Jim Rome is Burning,
Mike and Mike.
And I hate those shows. They're fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone wants to watch them, but people did.
Yeah, but they also had like really good 30 for 30. Like those were great.
Oh my God, the 30 for 30s are awesome. Some of the best sports documentaries, and Netflix is kind of picking up that torch, but I mean,
look, I'm just gonna be honest. Everything before LeBron James formed the super team with the Heat, like ESPN was still good. It just feels like after, like LeBron James and Wade and Bosh all took their talents to South Beach, and they had that big televised "I'm taking my talents to South Beach" stuff. Like then it just went downhill. That's when they started. Like, oh, we need to have like this cater to this people, and we just need to talk about nothing but like East Coast, West Coast, and that's another problem too. It's like ESPN, like had their biases, but like it really started to get out of control. Like after that whole LeBron James stuff, all they care about is like New York, L.A., and then everywhere else in between could go fuck themselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's where like ESPN like really lost me. And then of course, they started hiring all these like weirdo like id poll people to talk about identity politics, and I'm just like I'm out. I'm just out, and it's sad because I used to really like ESPN. That's like what I used to watch when I used to get home from school, was watch those shows like Pardon the Interruption.
Pardon the
Stuff,
Interruption, yeah. J.A. Dundee, yeah. I think the only decent human being at ESPN is probably Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah.
I think he's the, and I've seen his show a few times. He's pretty much the only one that's, but he's so plain because he has to be, because he doesn't want to lose his job.
I will say this: the ESPN local radio stations actually really good.
I think those are good. Yeah,
at least the one out here in Chicago, Waddle and Sylvie, like they're pretty good.
Varies market to market, but I like that they have I like that ESPN has that, where they've got ESPN radio, but they're not always carrying national shows. They're also focusing in on the market as well.
Yeah, all right.
We really got off on a tangent.
No, it's fine. We got about like 2 minutes left. Let's finish this up here.
It builds on everything we've done over the last
Tim Couch
years as a company, and we continue to add to it. So.
First off, you could tell this is Madden because this is Tim Couch completing a pass.
So Keyshawn Johnson? Is that Keyshawn Johnson?
I don't think it's Keyshawn. I don't think he ever played for the Browns. Or if he did, this was like at the end of his career. You know?
His career, yeah.
It should have the best gameplay and the most features. This year we had the mini camp, we had the play editor, and we have the online.
And just when you think things can't get any better, along comes online.
So weird to think
Online is
online.
one of our coolest features in Madden NFL 2003.
Right.
Taking that level of technology and using internet connections. And playing with somebody, your college friends from 2-3 years ago when you graduated or whatever.
Jake
That's just
Delhomme.
kind of an exciting part, and I think that part can continue to grow and grow.
No video game has endured the test of time, economics, and fickle gamers better than Madden football. It not only grows with the times, but it's often ahead of them. And luckily for us, we'll be playing Madden for many years to come.
That is a very factual statement.
Yep.
Hey, Snap, how you doing, buddy? How's
More
it
than
going?
they know.
Oh yeah, little did they know. This was right before the big 2K5 and then the ESPN. Then the EA getting the full rights to Madden.
The John Madden name is synonymous with video game football. He's an icon, a sports icon that is, hip with the kids, so to speak.
I'll be associated with it as long as it's pro football.
The Madden franchise is really special because it's about sports, it's about real life, it's about content that's kind of constantly changing year after year. There's new stories every year in the NFL.
As the game changes, we just change with it, and the game changes every year.
EA Sports has found ways to make the series just better. It's kept evolving and improving.
We're always walking that fine line between fun and realism.
And he's in for the score.
The quarterback knew that he had to make that pass perfect, and he got the job done on that one.
Our goal is to always make it fun.
This game really almost fully realizes everything we ever envisioned or thought that we could do. I mean, there's times when I walk by the game and I think it's, live TV. And that was always, our number one goal.
And we have to get better every year, and we do that.
Boom. Now that is what football's all about.
I think we've come a long way.
And that is the tale of John Madden as told by G4.
So they left out a huge chunk of kind of important game history there.
Yeah.
So EA the one that what do they call it? They basically broke the Sega Genesis and re-engineered it. They backward engineered it so that they could make their own cartridges and not have to pay Sega the licensing fees.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So that the Sega games that have the little yellow tags tall. It's because Sega, or it's because EA did that, and then Sega got pissed, obviously, that you can't do that, and they're about to release the first Madden or the second Madden game on the Genesis, and so instead of Sega suing them, they said, "All right, you can do that, but you have to help us with our Joe Montana football game." And so what Sega did, because it wasn't in the contract, Sega basically dumbed down their Madden. And it's the same game, just not as in-depth. And that's how EA avoided a big dispute. So for quite a while, the Joe Montana football, college, like the Joe Walsh college football and stuff, they were all dumbed down versions of Madden. Done by EA, but they didn't say anything about that.
Well, also another thing too is to point this out to anyone that's listening, and if you're curious, Amazon did a big 6-part documentary about this just recently too.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, so
I mean, there's some cringe parts in there where they're like, "Oh, it was so cool to finally see myself in the game," stuff like that. But like the first episode is seriously just on them getting the PC version of the game made.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like they kind of go through and like this was how important the game to get the game right was, is that when they got it to a part, they'd bring John in and John would be like, okay, it's 1st and 10. This is the play that I'm going to run. I would assume the defense is going to run this play. And then they would.
Yeah.
And then so okay, so it's 2nd and whatever. And John would say, well, the best play here is going to be this play. And the defense would run that play. So it finally started feeling like a football game. And they were intentionally putting in his plays. Like they kind of glossed over the fact that they had John Madden's playbook. I never originally had Madden's playbook. He got mad at them and said, "This isn't football." That line, like, this is not a goal line defense. And then he brought in the book and started showing them and stuff like that. So, the Amazon documentary is fantastic. I believe it's 4 parts, and each episode's a little over an hour or so. And then it talks about like all the Madden tournaments that they did to help kind of bring, for the Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember that, but they always have the Madden Super Bowl tournament where they get a bunch of NFL players together, and I think that's still a thing to this day, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a highly recommend watching it. I'd love to come back if you wanted to one of these days, watch it over a week and then come back and talk about it and dissect it, because there's so much cool video game history that they talk about in that. That it would just, honestly, we could probably spend hours just talking about like the first episode.
Yeah. I mean, I could try to like play it on here and do everything else like that. It's just kind of make it fair use and look at it, because it is a documentary and I do have Amazon. But we could probably do that maybe again later. Probably when it gets close to like Super Bowl season, maybe we could come back and do another part.
Sure. Or even if you wanted to pre-record it and kind of drop it in episodes between the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, right? Because there's about 2 weeks, right, between the Super Bowl, something like that. I mean, I'd be more than happy. It might make it more palatable too for some people. So I don't know. I listen. I'll do anything with you. You know that. As long as I can make it happen, you got. I'm here.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to sit back and go and double check that, and we'll definitely look at that at a later date. But hey, man, thank you for coming on, John. This was very fun.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. And can I again? I want this on video, not just on Twitter or X or. But I want to thank you for sending me Expedition 33. I did beat the game last week.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's the first RPG I have started and finished since my first child was born.
Oh, wow. There you go.
So that's 7 years. Well, I didn't even start one for the 9 months my wife was pregnant because I wasn't going to have time. So basically almost 8 years, because she's going to turn 7 next month. But again, I want to thank you, because not only did I love it, my kids really enjoyed watching Daddy play it, especially when I was fighting like big giant monsters. And like I said, I didn't have my headphones on. I used speakers, and they would ask me to turn it up because they wanted to dance to the music. They loved the music. They just had a really good time. So I can't tell you how much. Not only that he's sending me the game meant to me, but how much fun I had with it, how much fun my kids had with it. It really meant a lot, all of us. So thank you, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. Like I said, I one of my favorite things in this world is not having people watch me play video games, but me helping people find video games they love to play. And I love collecting games physically, and I had a spare copy. And I know that, like you always say, like always are constantly, worrying about like, just getting your kids what they need and doing everything right. So, it's only nice that like you can reward people who work really hard every now and then. To
Well,
your best
I
of your
appreciate
means,
it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just got my first pair of new shoes in 2 years today, so like my kids are the world to me. So, and that probably better than almost anyone, So, like I said, I really appreciate it. I was taken aback by the gesture, and my God, this is one of the best games. It's in my top. I would say it's in my top 3 RPGs of all time. And my RPGs of all time go back to like Dragon Warrior 1 and like Super Mario RPG and Secret of Mana. Like those are like some of my favorite RPGs ever. So it's moved one of those out of there. The music was absolutely brilliant. I've now got a change fund to save up to get the entire vinyl soundtrack. My kids want it. So it was like you didn't just do something nice for me, you did something me and my girls, and you know how much that means to me. And I wanted the people to know. I wanted it to be on the internet forever. You are just a wonderful and amazing person and a great friend to me, and I'm very grateful.
Well, I am a wonderful and amazing person to you, and to some people they would hard disagree.
I mean, it still blows my mind, but I mean, it is what it is. I can't I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate your
I
kind
get
words.
you. You had me at hello.
I appreciate you very much, John. And like I said, one of the nicest people from the Rumble days, just honestly, salt of the earth kind of guy. John is linked to his YouTube video, is linked in the video, so please go over there and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And it also links to his Rumble and to his Twitch and everywhere else like that. And go follow him on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it as well. John, I love that you came on the show. I do love that you do your music passion the most. There are 2 other episodes that he's been on before, so if you want to learn more about Sophomore John, if this is the first time you're hearing about him, go back and listen to those ones. Those are episodes of the RNG podcast when we were still doing that, but they still hold up and still are great episodes. And please go check him out whenever he can stream. He's been very busy, so he kind of streams sporadically, but he streams video games, and he does a very awesome music show as well. That he plays his vinyl record collection, always showing off great vinyl records that he's looking at. And I apologize again that you're going to have to figure out how to get the Expedition 33 vinyl record edition I saw that you were saying.
It's totally fine. It's going to be worth it 100%. And knowing that my kids like it, like I can justify it. Like my kids want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't be sorry about that. Like I'm gonna make it happen, and I'm really they're gonna be so happy when that thing comes in. And I have time. It's not even shipping until next year. So
yeah, perfect.
I've got plenty. I think it's maybe February, maybe around my birthday. So it's cool. I'm excited.
Super Bowl time too. There you go. February.
That's right. It's a good month.
Yeah.
It's the best month.
Short month. We all forget about it. It's cold and sucks.
That's right. That's right.
At least if you live in the Midwest.
Well, yeah. Anyway, even where you live, where I am at too, it's cold and dry, but it's cold. So yeah, the Midwest is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for having me, brother. Anytime, I would always love to come back. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. We can work on something in the future. Like I said, I got more shows lined up. I got more topics. Know that I could try to get you on something else with even more people. It's just everyone who's a father knows that it's always about finding the time when you have kids, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't blame you at all. Life gets in the way, and you can't be a part-time father, right? You have to. It's a full-time job.
100%. Yeah, and but I'm glad we got to make up the episode so quickly. That was really nice. Like my mom's like, "Hey, let's take him out camping." I'm like, "Great, here you go. I'm gonna go hang out." Adam. Like first day. That way, if anything bad happens, I at least got to make this up. So
I appreciate it. So, like I said, once again, link in the description of the video. Click on the name right there. I'll take you right to his YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to him. And if you want to follow him on other platforms, I don't usually do this, but he does have a good Rumble channel. Go give him a Rumble chat over there as well. Subscribe
I
there.
appreciate that.
So you gotta like understand that if I you know how I am, I'm blocked by the CEO of Rumble. So if I'm promoting someone on there, that
I
means
know.
I like them. So
I appreciate you, brother.
go over there and
Thank
do
you,
that.
man.
No problem. As for me, if you haven't seen the Twitter thing, I will just address it all right now. Tomorrow we might be on for a Dark Avengers podcast with Neo and Ryan, but we don't know what's going on yet because of Ryan's schedule and everything that's going on. It might just be an off day, but that's not on this channel. We will be back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central, same time, and we're going to be doing another creator spotlight, and we will be joined by Shagsworth. So if you want to come by and learn about this great creator, good video game guy, overall great, nice guy, just is living my dream because now he's working out in Hawaii and I hate him every day. But, hey, listen, it is what it is with that. I'm proud of people living their best life, even if it is not me. And then, of course, on Tuesday, we will be joined by Jason, Tons of Fun Gaming, and we're going to be watching another episode of G4 Icons for Legacy Loading, and it's going to be about fighting games. EVO just happened, and I couldn't think of anyone better than Jason, who is the best fighting game player I know. And then, of course, no shows on Friday and Saturday this week. Saturday, however, I will be joining the Company Boys, Paul Hadouken, Insidious Bliss, and DJ X's, aka Seth the Dragon, aka Sex Dragon himself. And we're going to be playing Grounded 2 on the Company Boys channel. That will be when they announce it for the time, but that's just kind of what we're going to be doing, just as a spoiler. And that's really about it. We will have more.
I love Paul.
Yeah, Paul's great.
He's
Illinois
so
boy.
awesome. That's right.
But that being said, one more thing too, just as a reminder, shows will not be happening really on Saturday anymore. It's going to be very rare, and it will probably be Sundays going forward. Maybe not so much in football season. But on top of that too, we will be doing more pre-recorded content and uploading them on the video. Right now, we're doing editing on one of them, and I just bought a new camera to hopefully make that a lot better. But that's really about it. Everyone, thank you for joining us this Monday night. Have a good one, and we will see you all on Wednesday. Peace out.